headgear.
Tercera llamada, comenzamos. Y en nombre de Boristeca Boxing Promotions le damos la más cordial bienvenida a una tarde boxística más. En esta ocasión, desde la frontera más visitada del mundo, Tijuana, Baja California, México. Este evento es sancionado por la Honorable Comisión de Box, Lucha Libre y Artes Marciales Mixtas de esta ciudad de Tijuana. Presidente Carlos Labastida. Comisionado Jesús González. Jefe de Servicios Médicos, el doctor Benjamín Sandoval. Al frente del tiempo, César Fernández. Sus tres jueces, Jesse Hernández, Sergio Lechuga y Juan Luis Barba. Y su referee para este combate, de la Isla del Encanto, Puerto Rico, Ángel Méndez. Ahora bien, amigos, prepárense. 6 rounds de combate en la división de peso welter. 6 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Introducing first, the fighter standing in the blue corner. He wears red with black and white. He officially weighs in 148 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, con pantaloncillo color rojo con blanco y negro, con un peso de 148 libras. He stands with 23 professional bouts. Cuenta con 23 combates profesionales, representando a su natal, Costa Rica, Sinaloa. Jesús Lopez Perez. And his opponent across the ring standing in the red corner. He wears blue with gold. He officially weighs in 147 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, con pantaloncillo color azul con oro, con un peso de 147 libras. And this afternoon, he's making his pro debut, haciendo su debut profesional de la República Dominicana, representando San Diego House of Boxing aquí en Estados Unidos, Rohan Polanco. And with the final instructions, your referee, Ángel Méndez. 6 rounds, 6 asaltos.
Gentlemen, you were given instructions to protect yourself at all times, so they make comments at all times. Alright, protéjanse a todo momento y a recibir las instrucciones. Muy buena suerte, toquen guantes.
And here we go for our first bout of the afternoon. Rohan Polanco versus Jesus Perez.
I'm very excited to see his amateur style, his boxing fundamentals. We're about to see some boxing 101.
I like how you stated that, some boxing 101, because 194 amateur boxing wins.
That's no joke.
That is absolutely no joke. That's a very good record for anybody, man. And whatever you do, play ping pong, play whatever.
That's for sure. You do something 200 times, you're good at it. That's for sure.
As Polanco just paused with a jab at the beginning of the round, kind of studying his opponent, and Dylan, he has that little Mayweather shoulder roll attempt there. See if. Well, what do you think about that?
You know what? I like how Polanco's coming out. He's looking calm, composed. That's how you should be when you're making your pro debut. You know, a lot of these guys like to come out and they get a bit too excited and they start making mistakes. This is what you should be doing. This is what having that pedigree in amateur boxing brings you.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. You know, he's very calm. Both us being professional fighters, I recall my first professional fight just being very nervous, a lot of nervous energy. I don't know what you could say about yourself.
Oh, I agree, man. Same thing.
As a 1-2 lands by Polanco, Perez go ahead, takes it. Okay. Comes forward. Not too much action. Little sidestepping from Polanco. Keeps jabbing. That amateur style that you said, Gerardo, seems to be playing out here.
Yeah, he's dodging, he's sidestepping, he's demonstrating good boxing fundamentals. I have to say something, it's not going to be very popular, but I don't like that Polanco came out like that Mayweather style this early in the fight. If you remember how Mayweather used to start his fights, he opened up with
Hands up.
full guard on, and then throw some feints, throw some jabs to the body in order to make his opponent come to him and counterpunch him.
Yeah, Polanco seems to feel comfortable right off the bat. Doesn't seem too worried about what Perez is throwing at him.
Well, you have to take for granted, you know, you got Perez, a 6-13 professional fighter. You know. As he throws a little barrage of punches, does Perez, but Polanco just shook it off, and that shoulder roll that you said you like Gerardo seemed to work there.
Definitely. Displaying good boxing fundamentals. There it goes with the jab once again.
You know what, Gerardo? I agree with you. He's keeping his hands down a little bit too much. I think, you know, it's a different feeling to get punched with those 8-ounce gloves versus the gloves that you wear in the amateur. Now, he has a lot of amateur background, but those 8-ounce gloves, man, they make a huge difference.
Yeah, they definitely do make a huge difference. A little shot that lands in the gym or lands in an amateur boxing match is not gonna swell you up. You know, you get caught square in the eye, you're gonna feel it. You know, and we're gonna see it on your face as well. You know, you start to swell up. Things that don't happen obviously in the amateur ranks, but definitely controlled the first round. Did Polanco? Didn't seem to have too much trouble from Jesus Perez. Good showing for the first round of his professional boxing career.
I think they're starting off pretty slow. You know, even though he's coming out with his hands down, it is still a first round. So it's probably going to pick up.
Yeah, definitely. Like a little warm-up round. Not too much action. Polanco stayed on his back foot, controlled the pace of the fight.
One note I do want to give is that Polanco wasn't just you know, staying in one place. He was moving around the ring, which is good. You have to be comfortable in the ring and utilize it to the full extent.
As he's doing there, Polanco lands a good jab. And that's a fast jab coming from Polanco.
It's a fast jab. It makes Perez think twice before throwing anything. Perez has 6 knockouts. You know, when he wins, it's by knockout. So Perez is going to try to get in there and try to throw those big shots and get another knockout here.
So that's something that we talked about, right, Dylan? Yes, he's 6-13, but all 6 of his wins have come by knockout. So this guy either knocks you out or he loses.
He's do or die.
He's do or die. I like that. He's do or die.
He landed a left hook right now on Polanco. And again, it's from him keeping that right hand down. He's utilizing that shoulder roll, Chris, using his left forearms as well to try to keep Perez away.
And we see a little combination from Polanco, probably the most he's thrown here. There you go, and now he's starting to pick up the pace. He throws a right to the body and a jab to the body, but a good counter by Perez. Made him think twice to shoot to the body in that way.
Yeah, Perez has thrown that right hand a couple of times already in this fight. So right off the bat, you can tell he's looking for that knockout.
He's all in or all out. I like
That's
that style. As we see Polanco starting to pick up the pace just a little bit, throwing a few more shots. You know, still poking with the jab, still very defensive with that Mayweather stance. I always say, you don't pressure with that boxing stance. You can't go forward. That is to be fighting off of your back foot, not your front foot. You can't lead with that. So he might be walking into a hard right hand from Jesus Perez like you just mentioned, Dylan.
That's right, Chris, because Polanco is jumping in and out, but he's staying in there, mixing that up because, you know, he is faster than Lopez Perez, but Perez has caught him already with a couple of those right hands. And He goes for another one right
just
there.
a few, and to touch on what you just said, Polanco, the speed is much faster than Perez.
Good jab by Polanco. He's keeping that jab active, Chris, which I like.
And after 2 rounds, we're gonna go to our unofficial scorer. Gerardo, how did you see the first 2 rounds?
Easy fight to score this fight, 20-18 for Rohan in his boxing debut. You know what, Chris Dillon? He is throwing his jab. The jab is all day long for Rohan tonight. So as he throws his jabs, he marks the pace of the fight. He's keeping his distance, but he should really take into consideration not being counterpunched against Lopez's right hand.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's landing that jab over and over. To me, it might just be the only thing he's landing. He hasn't really put a mark on Perez yet, but he definitely is controlling the pace, hitting him hard with that jab.
He's doing a good job at controlling the pace, Chris. He's keeping that jab out there, you know, making Jesus Lopez Perez think twice. I would like to see him sit down on those punches a little bit more and do some damage on Perez. So far, so good for Polanco, though.
And that goes with the experience, you know, the fact that he's not sitting down on his shots, you know. He's just kind of pop shot him. He's used to just kind of winning those quick decisions.
The points.
The point system in the amateur. This is completely different in the professional.
Good overhand right, though.
Good jab to the body as well. So here's a question for you guys. What do you normally do? What's the strategy against an opponent that is displaying the Philly shell guard as Rohan Polanco is doing right now? What's a good strategy against an opponent like that?
You can go ahead and watch the replay of Maidana versus Mayweather. I think he did an excellent job versus that Philly shell Maidana did. Good body shot by Polanco. I like that he's starting to pick at the body, Chris. He was doing a little bit of work on the body, but now he's picking up the pace down there.
Yeah, definitely picking up the pace. But so is Jesus Perez. Jesus Perez coming in here. He didn't come to lose. He's coming forward. He's trying to throw good shots. You know, not necessarily landing the most overwhelming punches, but you know, he's making a case for himself here in the 3rd round. As we see good defense from Polanco, and a good right hand by Polanco there. Oh, and another overhand right. Considering there's no crowd, ladies and gentlemen, those shots, even from here, where we're outdoors, they sound like they hurt.
You can hear them all right. He's growing in confidence.
Yeah, definitely growing in confidence. He's starting to pick up the pace here, landing 2 hard right hands here in this 3rd round. Is Polanco feeling loose with his hands down, where he lands another hard jab to Perez's face. And a 3-punch combination evaded by Polanco.
That job to the jab to the body, Chris. He's staying consistent with it.
Yeah, I think though it's a shot for a longer fight, as Perez lands a good hook to the body, may have gotten Polanco's attention, and probably the best round that Perez had. Maybe not have won it on the judges' scorecards, but makes a little showing for himself here in this 3rd round.
Do want to make a note, Chris, that Polanco is coming out and making his debut on a 6-round fight. You know, that's unusual. Most professionals, when they're coming in, start off at 4 rounds, and they start to add rounds as they get more experience, Chris. Polanco, right off the bat, starting off with 6. That tells
and
you
and
what they're
we-
expecting from him.
Yeah, and we see that, like, for example, Lomachenko fights for a world title in his second professional fight. I mean, he did lose, but Orlando Salido was, you know,
That's no
very-
truck driver right
Was
there.
Orlando Salido. Orlando Salido was
Yeah.
Orlando Salido.
Of course, of
That's all
course.
you need to know.
Yeah. One of the most exciting fighters of recent generations of Mexican fighters, Orlando Salido.
Definitely.
Tell you one thing, if Lopez wants to have a chance at winning this fight, he needs to pick up the pace a little bit. And we see him starting to, move his waist, trying to get in close. Perez is looking for that knockout, and what he wants to do is he wants to get in close and mix it up. Now, Polanco's doing an excellent job at using that jab and using the ring at keeping Perez, at distance. But when Perez throws those overhand shots, they're landing, Chris.
Yeah, they are landing, not with the most conviction, but they are landing. As Polanco kind of sets a little tone for the beginning of the fourth round and trying to maybe throw a little bit more punches, trying to get his opponent out in his very first professional fight.
I would like to see more body punches for Lopez. If he's not finding the head, perhaps he'll find the body.
Oh, you're right.
And right now Polanco, he hasn't been hit with a significant shot, but Perez is picking up the pace. And when he gets close, Polanco is doing shoulder rolls, which are working right now. But like we said, if he gets caught with one hit, with those 8-ounce gloves, it's, it could be a good night.
You're right, and you know that Lopez Perez has that knockout power.
All 6 of his wins come from KOs. Just missed with that left hook too.
And he's not giving up as Jesus Perez. He's coming forward. He's got his hands up. He's trying to dig in there. He's definitely outmatched by Polanco.
Polanco with that consistent attack of the jab.
He's stepping out the pace. He's throwing harder than on previous rounds. Perhaps he's sensing something here.
Yeah, perhaps you're right, Gerardo.
And maybe they anticipated this. That's why they kind of set the tone. Not too much of a fast pace. They are going 6 rounds. Like you mentioned, Dylan, this is unusual that you start with a 6-round fight instead of a 4-round fight to ease you into the professional ranks. Polanco has that.
Nice right hand.
Good right hand by Polanco.
Right between the gloves. And guys, keep in mind, again, the weather. It's a really hot day today.
Yeah, we're in the shade, Gerardo, but these guys are right here in the hot sun, man. To be exerting themselves in this hot heat, it must be difficult.
10.
As we close the 4th round here, let me take it to our unofficial score, which I believe in his very first fight of the evening, he's got a very easy job to do. How do you see this fight playing out?
Boxing 101. We called it Boxing 101. So the jabbing all night long, you get to see Rohan Polanco stepping up the pace, throwing a little bit harder than he did on the first rounds. So 40-36 for Rohan Polanco on his pro debut. You know what, guys? I would like to see Lopez Perez throw more body punches, perhaps perform some feints in order to reel in Rohan and perhaps encounter him with a huge right hand.
Yeah, it's hard because, Jesus Perez is coming forward, and Polanco just kind of on that back foot. And when he does come forward, he comes forward, but not too strong. Maybe if he picked up the pace here, he can get Perez out of there.
I believe he could, Chris, and Polanco is fighting on the back foot, but he's doing it very intelligently. He's utilizing all the ring, and he's keeping Perez at distance.
So here's a little fun fact for you guys. Dominican Republic world champions. Luis Santana, Julio Cesar, Joan Guzman. I really like Joan Guzman styles, and Rohan Polanco
Good left
is
foot.
displaying some sort of Joan Guzman's style with that Philly shell guard displayed right there, and Javier Fortuna. Those are Dominican Republic world champions.
Nice. And Juan Guzman was at one point close to that world title. Very good fighter at one point in his career. I recall as a young amateur, I was still fighting at 112 pounds, I believe, maybe 119, I don't recall. But I was in the ring with Juan Guzman sparring, and obviously he was taking it easy on me at the time. But he put himself on the corner, and I remember he put his right hand on the ring rope, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit him. And I threw a 4-punch combination. Every single punch missed when I threw at Juan Guzman. I don't recall how old I was. I want to say 15 or 16. But I remember, like, oh man, this guy could kick my ass.
I didn't know that. That's a cool boxing story.
A little fun fact there for everybody at
That's
home.
pretty cool.
So Polanco is good friends with Elvis Rodriguez, who's recently turned pro, signed with Top Rank Boxing, one of the major boxing promoters.
Trained by Freddie
boxing.
Roach as well. The trainer of Manny Pacquiao.
Picking up the pace Polanco is right now. He just hit Perez with a couple of hard shots.
And that says a lot, you know, for the Dominican Republic, that you're starting to see a lot of good fighters coming out of there. As I think Polanco got hit low by Perez, but the ref didn't say anything. Polanco seemed to wince a little bit, but he's right back to work. And
Good, consistent jabs again by Polanco. Now he's throwing those jabs, Chris and Gerardo, but from time to time he throws like the ones that he's throwing right now, just a little touch.
Just a little measuring stick instead of sticking it like you just
Yeah,
did.
exactly. And Perez, when he starts to do that little touch jab, that's when he lets loose that overhand right.
Yeah, he's like sort of like teasing him in order to counter punch him, right?
It might be a trap. Polanco might be setting up a trap with those light jabs to make Perez, throw that overhand right. Polanco
Not
steps back and hits him with a couple of hard shots.
Right.
End of the night.
Right. Good jab work by Rohan Polanco in his pro debut.
It doesn't feel like a debut. He's
You're
very
right.
composed, and he's using that jab. Like I mentioned before, a lot of times when people are coming into the professional fighting game from the amateurs, they like to come in here and they like to show off and they like to go for the knockout. Polanco so far,
Yeah,
he's been
being
very
smart, being relaxed. He's not looking for that big KO, but displaying great boxing technique.
That's right. Good sportsmanship by both fighters.
Great.
Now, if Lopez wants to have a shot at winning this fight, he has to go for it all here. It has to be now.
As Polanco enters the 6th and final round of his professional boxing career. And you're right, Jesus Perez has to go for broke if he even stands a chance.
He heard you.
And he's going.
And he is
Heard
going
you,
for
Chris.
it. As this corner pleads for him to follow up.
But that jab just does not let him get in there close comfortably. Good job by Polanco.
And maybe for Polanco, this is a good little introduction to the professional boxing ranks. Considering Jesus Perez doesn't have the best record, he's here fighting tough, doesn't have much of a chance, but this is good experience for him. What would you say, Dylan?
I'd say he doesn't have a chance now that I'm seeing how Polanco is fighting. He's being really smart. He's he looks comfortable in there, Chris, which is it's a huge stain because even though he has that extensive amateur background, it's a whole different feeling when you're in there with those 8-ounce gloves, like we mentioned before.
Yeah, and Jesus Perez is firing. He came close with that overhand right there.
Here's a little, a second fun fact for you guys. Actually, Rohan Polanco asked for a 6-rounder for his pro debut. As Dylan mentioned already, that's nothing. That's something you do not normally see within a boxer that just turned pro.
Yeah, well, not only did his camp have confidence in him, but he has confidence in himself by asking for a 6-round fight instead of a 4-round fight. And he's proven it here. You know, he dominated pretty much every single round, almost every second of every round.
Yeah, impressive work by Polanco.
And a good little 1-2 landed there by Polanco. Jesus Perez returns. Not much steam on it.
One note I do want to make of Polanco is that when Perez does close the distance and get close, he wraps up.
And a good uppercut landed by Perez. May have been the best shot of him for the night, for the day, excuse me.
10 seconds. 10 segundos.
But a little bit too late as he finishes with a flurry of punches to no avail.
That was a good fight, Chris. It's a good showcase by Polanco. And good effort by Perez.
Definitely a good fight, good showing for our first fight of the afternoon. Coming to you from Tijuana, Mexico. Everybody out there joining us on Fight Hub TV. This is what it's all about, guys. You know, boxing always finds a way. We're here. We're in an outdoor venue. People here that are present are wearing masks, trying to stay safe, socially distanced. Ring card girls on the outside, not on the inside of the ring.
I mean, they have everything here, Chris. Even to get into the field, you have to go through the, you know,
the sanitizer.
The sanitizer.
Which is good for you because I believe you haven't bathed in, what is it, 3-4 days?
It's been about a week.
Sounds about right.
See, Chris loves my smell, so he actually requested this.
I requested to sit directly next to Dylan
me.
El Rey Miranda.
I'm happy for you guys. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you, Gerardo.
Take a picture.
I enjoy the smell of caramelized onions.
Solo para ti.
That may be tough to hear. Yeah.
As we go for the decision, Pablo Flores.
Damas y caballeros, después de 6 rounds de combate, nos vamos con las tarjetas de los jueces. After 6 rounds of boxing, we now go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, los 3 jueces, Sergio Lechuga, Max Zúñiga y Jesús Hernández, they have the same scores of 60-54. Coinciden en números 60-54. For your winner by the way of unanimous decision, su vencedor por la vía de la decisión unánime. Lo que hace de República Dominicana, Rohan Polanco.
And a successful professional debut for Rohan Polanco of the Dominican Republic. 194-6 amateur boxing record, 1-0 professional boxing.